Tonight's going to be round two for Mitt Romney and President-elect Donald Trump. The two will meet for dinner in New York City. Mr. Romney is still a top contender for the Secretary of State position. And look who is joining us now. Former Speaker of the House and the author of the book Treason, which I'm about to read, by the way. Newt Gingrich is with us. Good afternoon, good morning, Mr. Speaker. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, and let me start by just saying that Elaine Chao is a great choice. I think that President-elect Trump wants to have a very large infrastructure investment program. I can't imagine anybody with greater skills at getting that through the Congress and understanding how to run a department that size and understand the labor implications of a really large infrastructure program. So it's a great choice picking Elaine Chao.
And let's not forget Tom Price, who does have a plan for replacing Obamacare. I think you'd agree that's a pretty good pick, too, for Mr. Trump.
Well, you know, Tom Price actually represents my district when I left the Congress. He is a doctor. His wife is a doctor. She's also a state legislator. He's been chairman of the Budget Committee. I don't think you could have gotten a better choice for Health and Human Services than Tom Price. So those two picks, for example, are tremendous steps, as, by the way, I thought that having Betsy DeVos, who has invested her own resources fighting for school choice for poor children to help them get out of disastrous, unionized, bureaucratic schools that were ruining their lives. I mean, these are really strong choices that President-elect Trump is making.
That school choice would make such a difference to so many youngsters in our society. Newt, on the left-hand side of the screen, we're showing the NASDAQ composite. It just reached 5,400. I think that's the first time ever. That is the Trump rally. Now, Mr. Speaker, why do you think that President-elect Trump invited Mitt Romney to dinner when the vast majority of Republicans don't want it? You're laughing, you're laughing. So why did you do this?
Look, I don't have a clue. I used to tell people...
You can't say that.
No, yes, I can. Look, I used to tell people all the time, you will not be able to predict what Trump is going to do the next day because he won't be able to predict what he's going to do the next day. He is a very intuitive, entrepreneurial personality. He knew how to drive The Apprentice to #1 on television. It was remarkably successful for 13 years. He understands how to create drama. You know, he understands the principle that if you don't create a rabbit, the news media will invent their own. He has given them the Mitt Romney rabbit now for 6 days, and they have cheerfully pursued Mitt all over the place. You know, so Kellyanne Conway gets 2 days of coverage for saying the obvious, which is that the Trump base deeply, deeply disapproves of Romney. On the other hand, my impression is that Speaker Ryan really wants him. Vice President Pence thinks he'd do a good job. Chief of Staff Reince Priebus thinks he'd do a good job. So you have an interesting balance of what's going on in there.
I think you're laughing because I think you believe that Donald Trump will torture Mitt Romney tonight and make him grovel, make him apologize, and then maybe consider him for the cabinet. Anyway. You think?
Well, I mean, first of all, I think that they apparently had a very good meeting for 2 hours, and it may well be that Romney is simpatico as a senior executive talking with another senior executive, and that Trump actually found it useful and helpful. I mean, I am for the President of the United States, whoever the President is, having people that they can relate to. If Trump picks Romney, I'll support it. But until he picks Romney, I will speak out against it very strongly. I think it's a huge mistake, and I think that it absolutely flies in the face of the overwhelming bulk of his supporters.
How about General Petraeus? As you know, he was found guilty of sharing classified information with his mistress. And Donald Trump was aggressively, he went after Hillary Clinton for also mishandling classified information. How would the president-elect reconcile this pursuit of Hillary Clinton and the appointment, maybe, of a man who's done exactly the same thing?
Well, first of all, he didn't do exactly the same thing. Well, I mean, he clearly made a mistake. He admitted he made a mistake. The real problem he got into was he wasn't totally candid with the FBI in the first phase of the investigation. But to compare what Petraeus did with what Clinton did is like comparing a rowboat in the Titanic. There's no real comparison of the problem. You know, Petraeus is a very smart man. I've known him for a long time. He is deeply patriotic, deeply committed to the country. But frankly, you've got other people. Senator Corker coming in, chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee. My personal preference would be Rudy Giuliani, who I think, without a doubt, would be the most aggressive defender of America and a person tough enough to actually reform the State Department, which is a topic I've been talking about since 2002. We have to get a grip on the Foreign Service and the State Department. It's totally out of control. And so I think, you know, there are a number of choices that President-elect Trump is going to face. And then maybe 3 or 4 more people come up. I frankly have been very surprised that Ambassador Bolton has not been more prominent, because he understands what's wrong with the State Department, and he's a very solid conservative.
Every single guest on the program this morning has had a smile on their face, because I think there is a new mood in America. Something's happening, a page has been turned, and a lot of people like it. And you still got a smile on your face. Newt?
Well, I mean, first of all, as you're reporting, anybody who has any savings at all is watching their savings go up, not down.
Right.
So that's a good thing. Now, the trick's going to be to turn the Trump rally into a Trump reality. And that's where I think picking people like Elaine Chao helps. But the other reason I have a smile on my face is the Democrats are going crazy. I mean, you know, the British under Thatcher used to have what they called the loony left.
Yes, yes.
Well, I mean, you look at this recount thing, and then you look at the potential for Keith Ellison to become the Democratic National Committee chairman, and you just say to yourself, I mean, this is a party which is running off of the edge and will presently be in la-la land. It's amazing to watch.
You died and went to heaven. Newt Gingrich, thank you very much for joining us, sir. We'll see you again.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
And I'll be smiling some more.
Yes, you will.